we have a responsibility though, you know, right here at the #1 chill spot on the internet.
Don't do that because you're so thirsty for people to...
Protecting your process. You have a lot to lose, actually.
Hindsight being 2020, I probably wouldn't have done it the same way.
Why do I still feel inadequate?
Yeah. Dude, hindsight is the homie, bro.
And thinking about the creative spirit a lot and just that playfulness that we have and removing our identity and our value from everything that we do, but at the same time, having a beautiful relationship, a dance for life, because we're going to be on this journey, you know, for life till our last breath that we take. But beyond that, you know, I believe a creative mind is such a powerful mind. The creative process is something that we use in all facets of our life, you know, not just when we're painting or making a song or, you know, doing some pottery, but creativity is a way, the creative mind is a way of thinking, of looking at the mess of your life, but seeing all of that as building blocks, you know, to a solution, or tearing down the walls in our mind that we have put up through fear and limitations, and instilling curiosity and hope again when we're going through a rough time, right? That is the power of a creative mind. But obviously, as we get older, many of us, you know, we lose touch with that side of ourselves, and we become more rigid, a little bit more logical, a little bit more set in our ways, and, you know, we take less risks. That's true too. Or maybe we take calculated ones, but I believe we also just lose touch with that inner child within, you know. We develop more fears, more worries. I was talking about this the other day on our live streams. You gotta check them out, heinz.com/chill. But I was mentioning how when I first started to create music and videos, I had no fear. Not knowing how to operate the equipment wasn't even a worry. I didn't know what the aperture was. I didn't know what the ISO was. I didn't know anything about the dot. If I had it in my hands, that is all that mattered. I was going to create something. I was going to have fun. I was going to just transfer everything in this mind through these gadgets and see what happens. And that's what we do, because we're all creators, right? We're all beautiful creations in itself who continue to create and give. And I cherish those expressions still to this day, almost the most, because I believe it was like my rawest form, my rawest channel. Or maybe I'm just over romanticizing it, I don't know. But when I observe my journey and I realize the more knowledge I gained and, you know, skills I attained, which is beautiful, you know, we got better. It's also as if I became more aware of how things could go wrong. I had more doubts. More comparisons now to other people in my field. And as expectations grew, deadlines grew, and I became aware of time. When I first started creating, there was no such thing as time. I'll get lost. But then time became a reality. Oh no, I would say, if I get too lost into this project, I may not complete it on time. Let me not explore that idea that my gut is pulling me towards. Let me just finish this up. Let me just settle. And as time grew, more fear came into the process, and it really clogs up the relationship we have with ourselves, our future selves, our past self, our child self, and procrastination grows stronger and stronger. We have like a non-linear path with procrastination, don't we? It's not like we just overcome it and it's gone, it's in the past. It's a continuous struggle. But it is top priority to nourish a certain part of ourselves, our inner child, to bring that raw, that playfulness, that joy out into everything that we do. Not just the creations, but the way we show up in life and our relationships, you know, the way we show up at work, the way we show up with ourselves, that grace we give ourselves. I remember a great example of this, protecting your inner child, was from Willow Smith. And we're going to watch one of her interviews later. But when she first came on the scene, I remember she had this song called Whip My Hair. It was actually a really good song too for like a 9 or 10, 11-year-old. Great record, great video, a new star was born. And you could tell her dad was super excited, right? Because Will is a very motivated guy, Will Smith, and his child prodigy is now stepping onto the scene. And believe he signed her to Jay-Z, and then he went and set up like a whole tour. He goes to Willow and he's like, listen, we're about to go on tour. Like, great news. And she's like, oh, I don't want to do that. And he's like, no, baby. That's what happens. You have a hit song. We got to go tour that song and sing that song over and over and over for all the people that love it. But to a child, to a 10-year-old, the child just thought they were having fun. They were creating. She was expressing. And now there's all these external demands telling the child to sing and dance every single night. And this thing that was fun now becomes this thing that she doesn't want to do. And in a beautiful act of rebellion, what I love was Willow went and cut her hair. She just cut it off, shaved it off, bald. She cut it off. Her hit song was, I whip my hair back and forth. How do you whip your hair when you have a bald head? You know, like, it was such a beautiful form of protest for like a 10-year-old. I'm not sure how old she was. Her words weren't enough. They weren't clear enough for her dad, but her actions spoke volume, you know? I'm sure Will had to listen at that moment, you know? But that was a way for her to protect that part of her, you know, even if she wasn't fully conscious of it, to push the world out of that space, because the world was coming in to spoil the development of her creative spirit. And she protected her process. She protected her safe space. She protected her inner child. And of course, it wasn't protected forever. I'm sure she's danced with these struggles as she continues. But if you see her now, she's been through like a beautiful journey in her creative expression, I believe, getting closer and closer to that authentic feeling. Like any artist, creative, everybody on the planet, you make something, you could be proud of it, but you're always like, it's not quite there yet. You know, that's a beautiful feeling. And she's been on her way. She wrote her story, I think, before the world came and wrote it for her. And this is top priority for us as well. Protecting your story, protecting your process, protecting that space within yourself where there's joy and you get to place that joy and meaning onto life. Protect these aspects of ourselves that feel like home. The space within ourselves where we can truly laugh, we can truly play, we can truly lean into the spirit of curiosity. I was actually looking at some baby photos of mine just yesterday, and I was looking at my eyes and I'm like, wow, your eyes were full of curiosity. Like, I just had these eyes that were just like, like very curious, you know? I was a curious child. I love curiosity, you know? I always say uncertainty has the spirit of a child. Why? Because children are curious. They're like, hey, what is over there? What is in that socket? What is on top of that counter? Hey, what if I walk away from my parents and go around the block? What, you know? They love to wander. They love to explore. They have no awareness of fear. They have no awareness of problems. They're just like, yo, I'm in this world and let me figure it out. And that right there, that's that magic. When I was looking at those pictures, I was like, that's right there, that right there, let's lean back into that. You know, sometimes even for myself, it's easy to get into a habit of, oh, you know, what do people want to hear versus, yo, what is really pulling my curiosity right now? And let me talk about that. Like, what am I really curious about? Because if I'm really curious about it, there's going to be a tribe out there that's also resonating as well, right? I always say, be yourself undeniably. So the ones that love you can come closer. And the ones that don't, well, what happens? They go find another tribe. We have a responsibility though, you know, to take care of ourselves. We know that this channel loves self-care. And I always say our highest form of nutrition is in our expression. And I say this because as adults, again, we can get so lost in the desires of the world or stuck in that survival. I know that feeling. I be in that feeling. That in the pursuit of surviving, we forget how to thrive. And then we take a toll on ourselves. It's actually quite regressive. There's probably deeper reasons for your procrastination or your failure to show up for yourself. It's not just, oh, you're lazy or you don't got the ideas or whatever it may be. You may have attached a negative emotion or narrative to the very thing you need to do because of a previous failure. And this may be exactly why you do not show up for yourself, out of protection, protecting yourself from feeling that failure again, from becoming more aware of your flaws. So instead, we don't do anything. When I first started creating, again, I didn't have the knowledge to really judge my own art like that. I just created. I was just happy to bring an idea from here to here. Once I became more aware, which awareness is a beautiful thing, but once I became more aware of what bad art was or a bad performance from myself, I took it personal, like a direct reflection of my worth. And when you attach all your worth to the things that you do, it's okay to have some in there for sure, because these are extensions of yourself. But when you attach your worth to those things, you will lose yourself. You have a lot to lose, actually. And now your inner child hides. It doesn't come out to play because the cost is too heavy. It's not a safe space to play because you haven't created that environment to do so. You know, I love approaching content creation, creativity, and life just through a mindful lens, like a tool for self-discovery and expression. You know, it's a way to learn about myself and to offer the world something beautiful. I was angry the other day about something. In that moment, I paused. I was like, oh my God, this anger is so good because it's going to really help me just channel this lesson and this experience, and I'm being human and put it into something. You know, I really try to look at everything as a different hue, a paintbrush, as tools as we create our life. And to have this approach with my creations, I actually created a course with our sponsor of the day, Skillshare, to guide those who need a little bit more intention and framework to bring out their most beautiful versions of themselves. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry pros across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and so much more. Right now, it is so key that we double down on our uniqueness and develop our skills. So start your journey on Skillshare. You know, I created my own course to help others speak their truth and craft their message through their own unique lens so they can stand out in this world. And there's also a few other classes I'd like to recommend that are quite powerful. One being Craft Your Purpose, an online presence with Brianna Isis, and Notion for YouTube Creators by Ashante Bean. And if you want to go deeper and you need a guide map, check out Learning Paths. Learning Paths are hand-picked classes meant to be taken in order that build on one another, reinforcing lessons, and they are available in a wide range of experience levels and a variety of categories. For the creative professionals out there, I recommend Creative Productivity, Kickstart and Sustain Any Project. This learning path will bring you on a journey into executing your vision, giving you the evidence and then the confidence you need to succeed. The first 500 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare.
Kind of do feel like with this next project, I want to, even though I just put myself in it again 150%, you know what I'm saying, even more, I'm trying to like separate that like need for validation. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I sat in my room for 4 hours a day and I practiced the guitar and I practiced and I transcribed all of these Ella Fitzgerald records and I and it's like, do that for you, Willow.
Yeah.
Don't do that because you're so thirsty for people to recognize that you're you.
Don't be thirsty. You know, be you. Do it for you. Notice how she said, I'm trying to separate that validation, right? Because we can say very easily, hey, don't get your validation from others, but this is a process, right? It's a constant string of creation. But if we have that intention, like, listen, I don't want my validation coming from everyone else's opinions. I believe we spark that seed within ourselves that sprouts true validation from within. And now we're not judging ourselves everywhere we go and having a regressive experience.
Kind of pushes artists to be in that state where it's like, oh, like, well, maybe I should dye my hair because people are liking this color now. Or like, maybe I should wear this kind of clothes because people kind of like that now. It's like, what people really want is to see you.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
It's beautiful. That is it. What people really want from you when you're trying to show up in the world and impress everybody isn't the version you think they want from you, but it is you. And again, if the ones that don't love you for who you are, the way your mind works, they can go find another tribe. The ones who do, they're going to come a lot closer.
And you're right, it's hard. It takes time.
It does.
It takes time. You know, if you talk to anybody who puts an album out and says, this is the authentic me, 3 albums later, they'll be like...
And again, it is a process. This is why I'm always so big on grace for ourselves. And it's really just not measuring our success on like a daily timeline, and really seeing everything as a connection. Like I often say, like with meditation, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, my meditations may be struggling, you know, for me to even get like a moment of silence in my mind. But come Friday, I get that moment of bliss, you know, because of that consistency. And I don't see Monday's meditation as if it was worse than Friday's. I actually see it all as one. And if your intention is, right, to have a more playful experience with yourself in life, create the life that you truly love so you can love the life that you are living. If that is your intention, you have set your direction. That's all that matters. And if you have lost direction, what do you have to do? You have to come back to intention, right?
And it doesn't matter if you're a musician. It doesn't matter if you're an architect or it doesn't matter. It's the lesson of all of our lives to figure out how to love ourselves enough to just be.
To love ourselves enough to just be. I have a card in the reminder deck that reminds me of that. I love when there's can't even say this word well, but synchronicities. I love when the synchronicities pop up. You were before you are. You were before you are. The back says, all the strength, love, confidence, compassion, and resilience that you are looking for is already within you. Our experiences and faith activate what's already been given to us. You were before you are, so just remember who you are. And like she mentioned, you know, the goal is just to be. You know, we're not a greater or lesser version of ourselves. We just are who we are in this present moment. And regardless of the weather within ourselves, we are still who we are at our core. Yeah, we go through struggles. Yeah, we make big mistakes. Sometimes we're completely off our own wagon, but sometimes we're right in that right rhythm, moving in the direction that matters. But regardless, all of that is still us. It still is us, right? You are still a beautiful, creative individual.
In the past, I used to think like, oh, like when this musician notices me, when people like that's when I'm gonna be like, but I realized like every single day you put one foot in front of the other and you try to be more honest with the people you love. You try to, you know, be more honest in your lyrics. Like it's not about like, oh, like once Napalm notices me, like once she's like, oh, I want to make an album with Willow, then I'm gonna be like, I made it. Like, this is amazing. It's like, no, even if Napalm does want to make an album with me, there's gonna be a moment when I'm sitting in my house going, why do I still feel inadequate, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why it's not a complete linear path, right? It's a cycle. We will experience these moments of like bliss, confidence on top of our game, and then feeling inadequate again. But if you can remind yourself and come back to, again, that place within yourself that is home. This is what we cultivate every day, right? This is what we're putting our intention to. And we can come back to that place within ourselves, that safe place, that place where the child likes to roam, play, express itself, that joy. Even in those moments where we feel inadequate, we can pull ourselves back and be like, well, all of this doesn't define me. Yes, I do all these things and I'm building a life because I want to create the life that I love and live the life that I am loving. But in this moment, let me come back and remind myself who I am from the very core. And sometimes you got to look at yourself as a child and forgive yourself and tell yourself it's okay. You know, you may have like attachment or abandonment issues, or you may have been in a toxic. Sometimes you got to actually go deep within yourself and just tell yourself, it's okay. It's going to be okay. You're doing great. You are trying. Every day you get up, you are trying. Yeah, you fall short, but it is okay. You're on the path that matters, and it's a beautiful path, isn't it? Give thanks for your path. It's a beautiful path and just continue to learn and enjoy that. That's like, as soon as you get ahead of yourself and you focus on the outcome and you forget, man, I get to discover. If something doesn't feel right or you don't get it right, let's say you're creating something and it doesn't feel right, don't judge yourself and be like, oh my God, it's not good. Be like, it's not quite there yet. How are we going to get there? You understand? Oh, okay. Maybe I got to go learn this or elevate my skill here. Or maybe I got to dig deeper, or maybe I got to go have a little quick experience or chit chat with somebody. Maybe that'll, get excited about that treasure hunt. The treasure hunt is creating this life for yourself, creating the most authentic version, standing in your truth, whatever that may be. And again, it's a cycle. It goes up, it goes down. You're never going to feel completely perfect. You're never going to feel, but bring that excitement and that joy back right into that process.
Because I know that you really are like a student of this experience.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, I would actually go as far as to say, I don't know you very well, but I always enjoy meeting you and getting to know you. And I really think that actually you get a kick out of the stuff you do on your own, learning about it.
I do.
And that actually applying it is part of the process of commitment and execution, but the learning is your shit.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Like, I was taught as a child, like, you work externally, you know what I'm saying? And you, like, do the interviews and the tours and the da-da-da-da, and you go. But now I'm realizing as an adult, that amount of external energy, put it into the sitting in your room for 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Put it into the listening and studying. Put it into and then the music will come.
Right, all that energy that goes into this idea of you want to be your perfect self, right? The worry, the desire, all this external push trying to force. It's like, come back. Realize that the destination is in every step, and place that right here, and protect your process, protect your way of thinking, protect your peace, protect everything that allows you to feel like home within yourself, because everything else you do is a reflection of that space, of how you feel right in here.
I could play you all of this, but there's nothing that sounds like what I want it to sound like.
Did you even know at the time what you wanted, or was it really just kind of, because and I know others feel it with slight definition before you're able to put it into words. It's like I can almost explain what it is I want.
And that is the human spirit right there, right? It's not quite there yet. And that's okay. I saw this quote by Leonardo da Vinci. Absolutely took me back. What he said, I have offended God and mankind because my work didn't reach the quality it should have, right? Some of us live in that frequency every single day, like, because I haven't shown up to my most perfect version of ourselves. Now, I actually think this attitude is really important. I think as an artist, a creator, all human beings, you should have this, like, you're striving because you just know there's a lot in you. You're not striving so everyone gives you that validation and so you can have those rewards, but you're like, listen, in the amount of time I have, let me see how much of myself I could my truest self, truly pull out and place it and give it to life. So people could feel what God put into my spirit, that unique essence. But like Willow said, she's like, yo, it never sounds like how I want it to sound. But it's more so, okay, let's figure it out then. Not, oh, okay, I suck. Now you're creating emotional turmoil with your own process, and now you're procrastinating because you don't want to experience something that doesn't look, feel, or sound like how you want it to feel. Instead, again, we have to look at it like a treasure hunt. And now we're going on this journey and we're like, oh my God, let me just see what kind of life I can create. Oh my God, today was super stressful. There's a mess all over here. All these problems in my life. Look at these building blocks. And now let me figure this out. Let me create a positive, let me turn this around and thrive. I got a little bit of pressure. Oh, okay, that's beautiful. Now that's just asking my spirit to rise to the occasion. I can really see what I am made out of. Get excited about your own self-discovery, your own process, right? Get out of the mind of the rewards and the outcomes all the time. It's okay to have them. It's okay to go for them. But come back to that intention for the right direction. And make sure you are protecting the space within yourself. I can't tell you exactly how you do that because your relationship with your inner child, with your process, with your way of thinking is your own. But you get in that journal, you write down, you forgive yourself, you give yourself that grace, you say what you want, what you don't want to do. You just get those thoughts and that energy out, and you start to develop a blueprint for yourself. And you have fun, you discover. And then you don't know in hindsight everything is going to be all right. I'll see you next time.